Hello, my name is Mr. Sexton. I'll be your instructor for PS 103 U.S. Political Systems this semester. And this video is designed to introduce you to the types of exams that we will have this semester. The exams will make up a large portion of your final course grade. And for that reason, I want you to understand some of the finer details of taking the exam and exams and how to be successful in doing so. So please listen to this video and listen closely for the differences between your regular exams and your final exam. Listen for the suggestions I make for you in using the Moodle test module. It's a little bit different than just sitting down and taking an exam. And then the last thing is, I want to listen closely to some of the suggestions I give for you for preparing for the exam, how to take notes and how to study and those types of things. So please listen closely to what suggestions I have for you. And if you have any questions at all, make sure you give me a call. The first thing that I would like to mention is that there will be a total of 4 exams in here. The first 3 I consider what we call regular exams, and each one of those exams will be worth 150 points, and then the 4th exam will be the final exam, and the final exam will be worth 200 points. Now what I do is, of your first 3 regular exams, at the end of the semester I will drop your lowest regular exam score. For the final exam, which is worth 200 points, I will not drop that. There is no way that you can drop the final exam. All students will be expected to complete the final exam. But of the first 3 exams, your regular exams, I will drop your lowest. The 4 exams will be made up of a series of multiple choice, matching, true, false, and short answer questions. We will talk more about each of those exams as we get closer to that date that we'll take that exam. Now, since I allow everybody to drop one of your first 3 regular exams at the end of the semester, I will very, very, very infrequently give makeup exams. What I do is I allow everybody to either screw up on one exam or completely forget about an exam or have something come up in their life that prevents them from taking an exam. And in that case, you'll just simply use that exam that you miss as the one you drop. Now, if you get a hold of me before the scheduled exam time, or you get a hold of me as soon as you get back to school after an emergency, I will consider those requests. But for the most part, I allow everybody to drop one exam, and for that reason, I do not allow makeups very frequently. All exams taken this semester will be taken using the quiz or test module of Moodle. That's the same exact tool that's used to take your textbook quizzes and your supplemental materials quizzes. Those tests will be taken in class with the teacher in the room proctoring you. The short answer portion of any exams will be turned in and reviewed by a tool known as turnitin.com. What will happen is roughly every other exam will have a short answer portion. You will have 45 minutes of in-class time to complete the online portion, which will include your multiple choice, your true false, your matching questions. And then you will have several written questions that you have to answer on several of the exams. The time that you spend on your written answers will be done outside of class and will not count towards your 45 minutes to complete the exam. I'd like to talk now a little bit about how you should prepare for the exams in this class. And the best advice that I can give you in preparing for exams is to make sure that as you watch the videos and read the other materials that we have, that you're in the process of taking good notes. Listen to the suggested order that you do things in here. And this is based on questions that I've asked students that have been successful in my class. They tell me this is how they have prepared and have studied for the exams. What you should do each week is start off by reading the chapter before you watch any of the videos. Also, print out and review the PowerPoints for each chapter before you watch the videos. After you have read the textbook and you have reviewed the PowerPoints, it's suggested that you print the PowerPoints off so that there are 3 slides on each page. What this allows you to do is it allows you to have an outline for taking notes. A lot of times, students will take a blank piece of paper and start taking notes on my videos. If I give you a definition in the video, I've probably also given you that definition in the PowerPoint. Why would you want to take the time to write down the definition from the video if it's already written down for you in the PowerPoint? You use the PowerPoint. When I give you a definition or I give you some information that's there, there's no need to write it down. When I give you additional information, examples, or other statistics or things that go along with that definition or go along with that example, you can be paying attention and writing that information down. If you do that for each of the videos, then you have a good set of notes based on the PowerPoints, which are really simply outlines for myself and what I need to lecture over. After you've printed out the PowerPoints, that's when you are suggested that you watch the video. The textbook information is going to be primarily foundational. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add to the foundational information that your textbook author has given you. When I lecture over something in my video, I believe that's important enough to talk about. So after you have a series of notes for the 4 chapters or 3 chapters that we're having the exam over, now you've got a set of things to study. You can study your notes. You can read the handouts that I give you. And then you know basically what's going to be on the exam. Where would I spend most of my time studying? Most of my time should be spent studying the notes from the videos. I'm not saying to ignore the textbook, because textbook is going to provide you foundational information. But again, if I think it's important enough to talk about something and provide examples about that topic in my lecture video, when it comes time for me to make my exam questions, you think that maybe I'm going to probably focus more on what I think is important than what the textbook author thinks important? So listen closely to me. Do not ignore the textbook when studying. But I would spend most of my time studying notes from the videos. If you've got questions on how to prepare for the exam, make sure you ask me ahead of time. And I'll do anything that I can to help you get ready. The next thing you need to keep in mind about Moodle is that on my exams, there's usually at least one question that is a matching question. And the matching questions will have several parts. Moodle does not break that out on the screen as showing that matching question having several different parts. It just shows up as a single question. Now, I've had students in the past say, well, I didn't know it was a matching question. When I got to the last question, there were actually 15 things I had to do, and I ran out of time. I didn't budget my time properly. My suggestion for you is the first thing that you do when you open up Moodle is that you peruse through the questions. You click on the questions really quickly, and you see if there's a matching question, and take that into consideration when scheduling or allotting your time for how much time you will have to complete the exam. The very last thing that I want to talk about as far as exams go is my policy on working with other students on exams. Exams are designed to be individual efforts. If I find that a student has worked in any way with other students or other individuals when taking this exam, you will be held accountable, which means you will receive a 0 on the exam and your name will be forwarded to the Dean of Students for violating academic honesty policies of the university and for this class. So make sure that when you're taking this exam, you are doing it by yourself. And as I've said before in the introductory video, I do not spend hours of my time trying to determine if students have cheated. But the Moodle system that we use to administer these online exams provide me lots of information at my fingertips. When I see information in these reports that it generates for me that kind of piques my interest, then I've got the ability to go in and do a whole lot more research and determine with pretty good accuracy whether you've cheated or not. Okay, this class is about learning. It's not just about getting a grade. So please adhere to the academic honesty policy. Work on the exam by yourself, and we shouldn't have this issue any longer. In conclusion to this video, I want to explain to you that before you will be allowed to take any of our online exams, there'll be two things that you'll have to do. You'll have to click on and view the directions for that particular exam, and then you will also have to complete what I call pre-test questions. Both of those things will have to be completed by you on Moodle before it'll allow you to access the exam. And the directions are very simple. You just click on a link, a PDF file will pop up, and it'll explain the directions for you. And it's very important that you read the directions for each exam, because while the directions may appear to be the same, there may be individual changes to directions for exam 1 to exam 2. So make sure you read those directions in their entirety. After you've done that, you will be given the opportunity to complete the pre-test questions. And what that is, it's basically 3 very simple questions that you'll have to answer. And those questions are just driving home, repeating my commitment to academic honesty and the fact that you need to be working by yourself on this exam. On those pre-test questions, you will have to answer yes to each of those 3 questions. In other words, you'll have to score a perfect 100% on those 3 questions, or you will not be allowed to take the exam. You will have unlimited opportunities or chances to make sure you get all 3 of the questions correct, but I don't think it should take more than 1 opportunity to take the exam, to take that quiz. Once you have received a 100% on the pre-test questions, then you will be given the opportunity to access each exam. You will have to answer those 3 pre-test questions before you take each of the exams. So exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, and the final exam, you will be reminded of my academic honesty and cheating policies before you can take any of those exams. Good luck on the exams, and again, as with all issues, if you have any questions about the exam process, make sure you give me a call, send me an email well in advance of the exams being due so that we can help you deal with any issues that you might have.